Good morning, students. Welcome back to our economics class. We have started with our industrial sector, and in previous videos, in previous classes, we have done with 1991 industrial policy resolution and role of small scale industries. Okay. Also, we have done with the problems of small scale industries. So today we are going to discuss what are the measures taken to solve the problems of small scale industries. Okay, so I'm just going to explain this. We will revise what are the problems which are faced by small scale industries and what measures are taken by the government to solve these problems. So when we do with this, these small scale industries, what do you mean by small scale industries? Where the investment will be between 25 lakhs to 1 crore. That type of industry, we call it as a small scale industry. Now, if you see the problems, I'm not explaining in detail, just we will see the problems. To that, what measures are given, we will discuss today. So what are the problems that are faced by small scale industry? First, finance problem, because lack of credit facilities, lack of availability of finance, small scale industries are facing the problem of finance. And they face the problem of raw material, means they are getting low quality raw material, or they are getting, they're not getting the sufficient amount of raw material for production. And another problem they are facing is idle capacity. In small scale industries, whatever the built-in capacity is there, to their capacity, output is not produced. Means underutilization of production capacity because of power fluctuations and also because of insufficient raw materials. So to full capacity, the production is not done. And technology, mostly we say in small scale industries, they face the problem of technology. They use outdated technology because to get the new technology, they have lack of capital. Means the investment is not sufficient for getting the modern technology or the updated technology. So they use outdated technology, which in result gives high cost of production and producing inferior quality of products. So technology is one problem. Marketing. In small scale industries, they are unable to market their product because of as they have no idea about the changes in the taste and preferences of the consumers. So they will not upgrade their product because of poor marketing skills. And the next problem they are facing is infrastructure problem. Infrastructure, availability of transport, communication, banking. If these facilities are provided, small scale industries can get benefited. But in India, we can see in rural areas mostly, there is a lack of transportation, inappropriate transportation system, insufficient banking system are the problems which are faced by small scale industry. Next problem is project planning. Because in small scale industries, they are least bothered about the, means they are not considering the constraints in the market, such as what is the demand, for what type of demand, what type of goods demand is there. They should change the product, or how the supply should be done, how should increase the new technology or modernization. Small scale industries are not bothered about all these things, which is affecting the planning in that small scale industries. Also, they face the problem of skilled manpower. Skilled manpower problem they are facing. Why? Because as they are unable to pay huge wages to the skilled people, they give employment for unskilled people. Mostly they utilized unskilled people. And also we can say they are lagging in managerial competence because of lack of training and skill development. So as we have discussed all these problems in our previous class, Now we are going to study with the measures what are taken for measures that are taken to solve the problems of small scale industries. Measures to solve problems of small scale industries. This will be your 5 marks question. Okay. So measures to solve the problems of small scale industries. What measures government has taken? So first, what is the first problem which is faced by small scale industry? Finance. So in order to reduce the problem of finance, government provided credit facilities to the small scale industry. So how these credit facilities are provided? Government provided the credit facilities to small scale industries, and also at low rate of interest they should provide, and their further commercial banks should also be provided to provide the credit facilities. If credit facilities are provided to small scale industries, it solves the problem of finance. Like we said, small scale industries have lack of credit facility. If government provide credit facilities through commercial banks or regional rural banks, the problem of finance will be solved. And another measure they have taken is setting up of industrial estates. Industrial estates, the government has set up number of industrial estates in different cities and towns. These areas have been provided various facilities like roads, banking, marketing, and transport to encourage small scale industries. As we see, they are suffering with the problem of infrastructure. So lack of transportation, communication and all. Industrial estates were set up by the government so that the industries, small scale industries are located in one particular area where they have all the facilities which are required for their industry. So that way industrial estates are established here, and testing laboratories were set up. Testing laboratories were set up to check to maintain the standard of product of cottage and small scale industries. Why testing laboratories are set up here? Because as their products are inferior quality, if they have been tested in a lab, so they will give a standardized mark. Like you have an idea about ISI mark, which is given for the products which are made by small scale industries and all. Means it meets the standards. It has the quality. So like the testing laboratories were set up to provide the quality of the product. Supply of designs is done by the government because trained people, skilled workers are not available. Managerial experts are not available. So government is also providing the new models and designs to the producers to improve the quality and quantity of the cottage industry. So to improve the quality of the cottage industry, government is providing them with the models, which product has to be produced, how they should produce, so that the quality of the products in cottage industries will increase. So that supply of designs is done here. Publicity, marketing activity. So government is taking up the publicity program. Government has set up a display centers and also showrooms inside and outside the country to increase the sale of cottage industry product. So to increase the sale of cottage industry product, government has set up various showrooms and the display centers so that cottage and small scale industry products will be sold to the public. So that way publicity activity is taken up by the government, and facility of raw material is provided. Raw material facility is provided to the small scale industries. government import raw materials for cottage industries from abroad and provide them at the lower price to the small and cottage industries. Generally, when a firm wants to purchase the raw material or import the raw material, cost will be high. So, on behalf of these industries, small government is importing the raw material from other countries, and they are providing that raw material to the cottage and small scale industries at discounted prices or at subsidized prices. So that facility of raw material is provided, and purchase of cottage industry products. Purchase of cottage industry product. So generally, if you see, government is purchasing cottage industry products and finished goods which are made by them and sell them in the same showroom display centers for creating demand. Like if you have an idea of APCO, in India we have this APCO, which is for handlooms. Means the government purchase from the employees, cottage industries, and they sell these products in the display centers and the showroom. So government purchase the cottage industry product and they sell them in the display centers and the showrooms to create the demand. Another measure government has taken is establishment or providing training. That point you write down, that will be better. So, government provides training for the people in this industrial sector. So, government has set up various institutions like industrial institutions, training institutions, vocational courses, or commercial and polytechnic institutions to provide qualified technical workers to small and cottage industries. So, to provide training to the employees, they have set up industrial training centers, vocational training centers, commercial and polytechnic technical institutions to provide qualified technicians for the working for small scale and cottage industries. So these are the various measures to solve the problems of small scale industry. So if you get this question for 5 marks, you write these points, that is enough. Okay. So what measures government has taken? Credit facilities are provided through commercial banks and regional rural banks to the small scale and cottage industries. Industrial estates were set up. Industrial estate means it is an area which is located in a place where they will provide all the required facilities for small scale and cottage industries. Testing laboratories were set up. The testing laboratories were set up to test the quality of the product and give the standardization certificate. Supply of designs, government is supplying the models to the small scale industries, small scale and cottage industries, so that they, and publicity, government is taking the program of publicity, means they are creating awareness to the people about the products which are made by small scale and cottage industries. Raw material facilities provided by the government. Government is purchasing the raw material, importing the raw material from other countries, and they are providing that raw material at low cost to small scale and cottage industries. Purchase of cottage industry products. All the cottage industry products are purchased by the government. They are displayed in the display centers and showrooms. This increases the demand for cottage and small scale industry products. It provides training. Government is providing established training centers, vocational training institutions, polytechnic training institutions, or industrial training institutions were set up to increase the qualified technicians so that they can work in small scale and cottage industries. So these are the measures that were taken to solve the problems of small scale industries. So here you can see the problems will be for 10 marks and measures will be for your 5 marks question. Hope you understood this one. Next we will do with the VSAQs of this chapter. So important VSAQs only I'm going to discuss here. See, you have finished with 1991 policy resolution, role of small scale industries. Then you have problems of small scale industries and measures for small scale industry. These 4 questions you prepare from this chapter. That is more than enough, which is important for your LAQ as well as SAQ. So now let us do with the VSAQs here. So your first VSAQ, extractive industry. What is an extractive industry? Okay, extractive industry, the industry which is concerned with extraction of goods from soil, air or water. Okay, the industry concerned with extractive industry, the industry concerned with extraction of goods, from soil, air and water, from the natural resources. When we extract certain goods, these are called as, this type of industry is called as extractive industry. So when the goods are extracted from these industry, from our natural sources, these are used as a raw material for manufacturing and construction industries. So these goods are used as raw material. These goods are used as raw material for construction and manufacturing industries. So these points you write down for 2 marks, that is enough. What is an extractive industry? The industry which is concerned with extraction of goods from earth surface, you can write, from soil, air and water. These goods are used as raw material for construction industry as well as manufacturing industry for producing finished goods. So coal, mineral oil, or we can say examples, coal mines or mineral oil, iron ore, so timber and rubber from forest, these all comes from examples of extractive industry. Now after extractive industry, your next question is next important question will be (1956) Industrial Policy Resolution. Only the important questions I'm explaining in this. I'm not explaining all the VSAQs. Okay. Industrial Policy Resolution 1956. So this 1956 Industrial Policy Resolution The main aim of 1956 is to adopt the socialistic pattern of the society. The goal of economic policy is to increase the activity of industrial sector So the 1956 policy to increase the share of public sectors, to increase the share of public sectors in industrial sector, and to adopt the socialistic pattern of society. So to attain this, what they have done, they have classified the industries into various categories, and also assistance is given to the private sectors, and foreign capital were allowed in the country, and also they have, in this 1956 policy, they aimed for balanced regional development. Increased the share of public sector, socialistic pattern of society they followed, also classified the industries into various schedules, classified the industries, and assistance is given to the private sectors, assistance to private sectors, and to achieve balanced regional development, and foreign capital is allowed in the country. So these points, the features, we are writing it as a points. Okay, these points, this way you write your answer, that is enough for your 2 marks. So what is Industrial Policy Resolution 1956? This policy aimed at increasing the share of public sector. It followed the objective of socialistic pattern of society. In 1956, they classified the industries into various categories. Assistance is given to the private sectors, aimed for balanced regional development, and also they allowed foreign capital in the country. So that is the aim of 1956 Industrial Policy Resolution. And your next question is liberalization. What is liberalization? Liberal means freedom. So we can say liberalization means freedom from government rules and regulations. Okay, liberalization, it is a new economic policy to reduce unnecessary controls, and regulations on industrial sector. To reduce unnecessary controls and regulations on the industrial sector. So we can say, in simple terms, we can say here, removal of restrictions on industry and trade. Liberalization means what? Removal of restrictions on trade and industry. So you can see here, what is liberalization? Removal of restrictions on trade and industry. So you can see what is liberalization. Liberalization is a new economic policy which was introduced in Indian economy to reduce unnecessary controls and regulations on industrial sector. In industrial sector, before to 1991 policy, there were regulations, control was there by the government where they have a limit on production. They have taxes imposed on production. So all these rules and regulation has been removed. Liberalized industrial policy, we call it as. So in 1991, when the new policy was introduced, government reduced the unnecessary controls and regulations on the industrial sector. So in simple terms, we can say liberalization means removal of restrictions in trade and industry. So that is called as our liberalization. And next question is small industrial. Okay, next you have the question of global, Small Industrial Development Bank of India, SIDBI, Small Industrial Development Bank of India. So your next question, SIDBI. It is Small Industrial Development Bank of India. So why this SIDBI was set up here? It offers refinance, bill rediscounting, credit and resource support mechanism. So what are the facilities that are provided by the SIDBI? It offers refinance, bills rediscounting, credit is given, credit facilities are given, and resource support mechanism. And resource support mechanism is followed by the SIDBI. So SIDBI also offers direct finance for meeting specific requirements of SSI. So it undertakes a various range of promotional and development measures for the rural poor. So one more point you can write. It undertakes the promotional and development measures, undertakes the promotional and developmental measures for rural poor, and also it directly finances small scale industries. It gives direct finance to the small scale industries through banks and financial institutions. Or you can write it as it gives direct finance to SSIs through banks and financial institutions. So you can write these 3 points for SIDBI. What is Small Industrial Development Bank of India? It offers refinance, bills rediscounting, credit and resource support mechanism. It undertakes the promotional and development measures for rural poor, and it gives direct finance to small scale industries through banks and financial institutions. So this is SIDBI for this purpose, to give industrial finance to the small industries, small scale industries in the rural areas. This SIDBI was set up in our country. Next important question we have, that is global market. Global market, where the goods are produced and sold. We can say global market means it is the integration of domestic economy with the world economy. It is the integration of domestic economy with the world economy. So what is global market? Global market means we are integrating. Integrating means what? We are combining. We are joining our domestic economy with the world economy. So this global market, it refers to opening the economy, also helps in facilitating free movement of goods, services, people, idea from one country to another country. Okay, so you can add one more point also. It facilitates free movement of goods, services, people, ideas, technology, etc. from one country to another. This is called as global market. Global market is nothing but our globalization. It is the integration of domestic economy with the world economy. It facilitates free movement of goods and services, people, ideas, technology, etc. from one country to another country. This concept is called as global market. Next, we have a few more concepts, that is demonetization, demonetization for your 2 marks. What is demonetization? The central bank of the country withdraws the old currency notes of certain denomination as official mode of payment. So, when the central bank withdraw old currency, when the central bank withdraws the old currency from official mode of payment, this is called as demonetization. So in 2016, they have in India, government announced the higher denomination demonetization. You just give that example. In 2016, denominations of 500 and 1000 rupees, higher denominations were demonetized, and recently you can see higher denomination of 2000 is also demonetized. You can just add that one point also. In 2023, now at present we can see 2000 is also demonetized. So what is demonetization? When central bank, along with the government support, they will withdraw the old currency of denomination from official mode of payment. So in 2016, demonetization of 500 and 1000 denominations were done. In 2023, 2000 denomination demonetization is done. So this concept is called as demonetization. And next concept we have in our industrial sector, that is GST. What is GST? Goods and service tax. Goods and service tax. Before to GST, we used to have indirect taxes. So all the indirect taxes are combined into one tax system. We call it as goods and service tax. it is a combination of all the indirect taxes. So we can say all indirect taxes are replaced by goods and service tax. And it came into effect from 1st July 2017. So it came into effect from 1st July 2017. Okay, it is all indirect taxes are replaced by GST. It came into existence on 1st July 2017. It is a comprehensive multi-stage destination-based tax, which is levied on every value addition. So we can say it is an indirect tax. GST is an indirect tax levied on supply of goods and services. Supply of goods and services. So what is the simple term here? How you will write this answer? Goods and service tax, all indirect taxes are replaced by GST. It came into existence on 1st July 2017. It is the indirect tax which is levied on supply of goods and services. So in this GST we have CGST, IGST and SGST. For 2 marks this is enough. State GST, central GST and intrastate integrated goods and services tax. Interstate level we can say. So these 3 points you write for GST, that is enough. What is GST? All indirect taxes are replaced by goods and service tax. It came into existence in our country on 1st July 2017. Goods and service tax is an indirect tax which is levied on supply of goods and services. And this GST includes state GST, central GST and integrated goods and service tax. So this is about GST. And one more concept we have to study, that is Make in India. What is this Make in India? The goods which we are importing from other countries has to be made in our country, so that importing the foreign exchange reserves will increase. Along with that, we can face the international competitiveness. So many advantages are there from this Make in India concept. It was launched in September 2014. The program of Make in India was launched in 2014 as a nation building initiative. Nation building initiative means to develop our nation. So here we can say the Make in India program started to improve Indian economic conditions. It started to improve Indian economic conditions, and companies are encouraged to set up their plants in India. Companies are encouraged to set up their plants in India, right? And also, this program is not only for overseas companies, but also for domestic company to set up their plants in India itself. So companies, both Indian companies and international companies are encouraged to set up their plants in India. Okay, so what is Make in India program? Make in India program was initiated in September 2014 for as a nation building initiative. This Make in India program is introduced to improve Indian economic conditions, and both Indian and international companies are encouraged to set up their plants in India so that our economic conditions will improve. So these points you write about Make in India. So with this, we have done with all our VSAQs also. So just see what all the VSAQs we have discussed here. Extractive industry. What is this extractive industry? The industry which extracts of goods from soil, air and water. And these extracted goods are used as raw material for construction and manufacturing industries for production of finished goods. For producing finished goods. Such industry is called as an extractive industry. So these points you write for 2 marks. It is more than enough. Next, Industrial Policy Resolution 1956. This policy was as an economic reform was introduced in 1956 to increase the share of public sector, and it followed the policy of socialistic pattern of society. Under this 1956 policy, industries were classified into different categories. Assistance is given to private sectors and balanced regional development, and foreign capital also allowed in Indian economy. Next, liberalization. Liberalization is a new economic policy. If you want, you can write down the year. In 1991, they have introduced this liberalization policy. Like in 91 policy, we have studied now freedom to the private sectors, no license is required. That is called as liberalization. So in 1991, as a new economic policy, it was introduced to reduce unnecessary controls and regulations on industrial sector. Liberalization aims at removal of restrictions on trade and industry. Next question, SIDBI. SIDBI, Small Industrial Development Bank of India. It offers refinance facilities, bills rediscounting, credit and resource support mechanism to the small industries. It undertakes promotional and development measures for rural poor. It gives direct finance to small-scale industries through banks and financial institutions. Next is global market. Global market is also our globalization. It is the integration of domestic economy with the world economy. It facilitates free movement of goods, services, people, ideas, and technology from one country to another country. Global market means what? We are present throughout the world. No restrictions when you move from one place to another, or when goods are moving, when technology is moving. So that is called as global market. Demonetization. Demonetization is a process where central bank of the country withdraws the old currency denomination. Old currency of certain denomination from official mode of payment. So where they are withdrawing the particular denomination from as an official mode of payment. So in 2016, in India, denominations of 500 and 1000 rupees were demonetized. And in 2023, highest denomination of 2000 was demonetized. Next, GST. What is GST? GST is goods and service tax. All indirect taxes in the country are replaced by goods and service tax. It came into existence on 1st July 2017, and all indirect taxes which are levied on GST is all indirect taxes which are levied on supply of goods and services. So this GST includes state GST, central GST, and integrated GST, that is interstate. When the goods and services are traded between one state and another state. Next, Make in India. Make in India is a program which was initiated in September 2014 as a nation building initiative. So this program was introduced to build up the nation, means to develop Indian economy. So the main aim of Make in India program is to improve Indian economic conditions, and companies, both Indian and international companies, are encouraged to set up their plants in India, so that in India, infrastructure development will happen, employment will be created in our country, as well as we can export more of the goods to other nations instead of importing. This helps in maintaining our foreign exchange reserves and also helps for balance of payment. Okay, with this intention, Make in India program was introduced in our country. So these are the questions from your industrial sector. Once again, I'm repeating here. From industrial sector, you have to prepare the questions, basic questions, what all we have discussed. That is Industrial Policy Resolution 1991 for 10 marks. Second question, role of small scale industries. Third question, problem of small scale industries. If you prepare these three questions, one you will get for 10 marks, other question you will get for 5 marks. Okay, and VSAQ. So from this chapter you will get 1 LAQ, 1 SAQ and 2 VSAQs. So your one more 5 marks question will be measures to solve problems of small scale industries. Measures to solve the problem of small scale industry. So these questions you prepare from this chapter. So easily you can score 17 marks from this industrial sector. Is it clear? Hope you understood all the questions. Okay, so this completes your industrial sector. In next class, we will start with our next chapter. Thank you.